I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the process of turning your novels into films and how that is.
So, one of the great misconceptions is that people actually care about authors when it comes to Hollywood. That's not true. Hollywood doesn't care about authors. They don't care about readers. And the interesting thing is that we actually are the lowest ranked on the totem pole. We have no say. If you sell the rights to a movie, you basically are giving a baby up for adoption. And what I like to say is that, sometimes you find out that your baby had a great productive life and, went on and got a college education and became a contributing member of society. And sometimes you found out that she grew up and became a prostitute. You never know what it's going to be. And unfortunately, when my book, My Sister's Keeper, was turned into a movie, I had that experience. I had a really interesting discussion with the guy, Nick Cassavetes, who they hired to be the director. They wanted me to talk to him before he was hired. And I explained to him that the reason that book sold so much around the world is because people said, I can't tell you what happens at the end, but read it so we can talk about it. And people literally were throwing it at their friends. And in fact, the woman at New Line Cinema who bought the book said, yeah, that's how I got it. And I talked to Nick about that, and he read the book, and he said, you are absolutely right, that is the only ending for this story. And I'm not going to change it, but if for any reason it has to change, I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you myself. I found out that he had changed the ending when a fan who worked at a casting agency emailed me to tell me she had the script. So I called Nick at home, and I said, what's going on? And he wouldn't talk to me. And I went to the set, and he threw me off the set. And to this day, I do not know why he changed the ending of that story. I can tell you that the movie did not perform anywhere near as well as they thought it was going to. Go figure, because the people who their target demographic were waiting to see the book happen, and when it didn't, they didn't want to see the movie. In my mind, he made a very beautiful film about what it's like to die with dignity. That is a very valid and worthy topic for a piece of art. It, however, is not what my book was about. And that unfortunately was a very painful learning experience. Could I have changed anything? No, because if I had said to him, no, you can't have the rights to this unless I have creative control, they would have said, oh, okay, because there are 15,000 authors who say, here, just give me the check. I won't ask you to do anything. That they really don't care about what the author thinks. Ironically, because the movie performed so poorly, in subsequent deals that I've made in Hollywood, people are falling all over themselves to give me some creative control because they seem to realize that, oh, yeah, actually, I guess she was right about something. I don't know what'll happen again. I would certainly encourage another one of my movies to be made. I just would hope, again, that it would be in better hands. I'm very fortunate in that Sing You Home has been optioned by Ellen DeGeneres, and I really believe that if anyone could do it justice, it probably is somebody like her.
Thank you.
Sure.
Last question tonight, folks.
Hi, thank you for coming.
Sure.
I'm a student of clinical social work, and so appropriately today our discussion in class was around LGBTQ youth and
Cool.
Just different clinical issues that they face and how we can support them as social workers. And I was curious your thoughts on, you touched a little bit in the book on depression and teen suicide in relation to these issues, but really Vanessa and Zoe were older when they discovered these things. Do you feel like there's a whole other book waiting to be written about that issue, or do you feel like you sort of,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I went on tour for this book. I toured all over the United States. I toured multiple countries. And at every single event, I had a teenager come up to me and say, I came out to my parents, and they treated me the way Max treats Zoe. What do I do? Or I had a teenager come up and say, I can't tell my parents because they belong to a church like Max's. And, what I want to do is I want to adopt all of them. I want to give them a big hug, and I want to say, here's the important thing. Even if your parents can't see you for who you are and why that's wonderful, there are people out there who know that you are perfect just the way you are. Because that, to me, is the most important thing. Letting these kids know, getting the word out that there is a network for them, that there are people, even strangers, who will stand by them. It's really hard. Think about when you were that age, or you probably are that age, look at you, but, when you were relying on your parents' support. I know a little girl who, well, she's not so little anymore, but she's a friend of my son's, and she was part of this volunteer theater group that I run that raises money for charity by performing original musicals. And her parents are evangelicals. And she has been in a panic since high school because she's gay, and she can't tell her family, and she's waiting. She's waiting for that shoe to drop and for the tuition money to dry up, because the minute they figure it out, she's lost at sea. And until you have the financial means to stand on your own, it's very hard to be yourself. So all of these kids are caught in this horrible catch-22. And thank God for places like the Trevor Project, which, you know, give kids a place to call if they need that resource. You know, but every day there are kids who are bullied because of their sexual orientation, and there are kids who are trying to kill themselves because of their sexual orientation. And as long as that's going on, I think we have to go out. It's our job to go out and find these kids and say, it's going to be okay. It does get better. And there are lots of people out there for you, even right now, who are willing to be your friend. Thank you.